Well, good morning. Good morning. This is Coffee with Carol. And today I want to talk about you say problem, I say promise. You say problem, I say promise. And I want to be really, really, really clear about this because I don't give you advice. That is not what I do. I don't give you advice. I don't tell you how to do things. I'm going to always point you in the direction you should go. Whether you go in that direction or not is totally up to you, but I'm going to point you in the direction that you should go. I might use stories of things that I've done to help you understand the process, but the way that I did it is not necessarily the way that you're going to do it. And how do I know that? Because I know that God speaks to each of us differently. We are all different children. And if you have more than one child, you know what I'm talking about. You don't talk to your children exactly the same way. You know, you're not going to talk to your 2-year-old the same way you're going to talk to your 13-year-old. It's just insane. Why would you do that? The 2-year-old isn't going to understand, and the 13-year-old is going to think you've lost your mind. So I really want to talk about you say problem and I say promise. And I'm going to keep saying this until we come to some kind of an understanding about this. I am not an ordained pastor. I do not have, some degree in theology. I am not, an all-knowing Christian. That's just not what I am. In fact, my information is non-denominational. A Jewish person can use it. You don't have to be Christian. You can use my information and you don't have to even really belong to any specific religion. So let's just talk about this today, because we all have problems. We have problems. We have problems in health. We have problems in our money. We have problems with our careers and our businesses. We have problems with our relationships. We have problems with our personal emotions, our stress. We have stress and depression and anxieties. We have problems with our spiritual stuff. We have questions. Maybe we don't understand the Bible. We just have problems. Our world is full of problems. And you know what? Scripturally, that is not supposed to be a surprise. So what do we do and how do we deal with it? Well, when we take a human's opinion, okay, including mine, an opinion, and we buy into that opinion, that creates a problem. I was doing some research this morning on how to overcome and handle these problems that we have in our lives. And the information that is out there is unbelievable. There are people telling you, to do this and to do that and to do the other thing and make this happen and make that happen. And I'm always going to say to you, go back to your source. Go back to the one that made you, because he's the one that knows what you should do or shouldn't do. When I went to God and I said, you know what, I don't know where I'm all in. I don't know what I need to do. And he said to me, let's look at your finances. Okay. The way that God spoke to me about handling my finances was what I had to choose to obey or not to obey. I had to choose to do it or not to do it. And when you go to God and you say, what do I need to learn and where do I need to grow and what needs to change? Those are open-ended questions for a reason, because what he tells you may not be what he told me, and that's okay. So even when we listen to a pastor, okay, and I love my pastor and I listen because he has wisdom, and we're supposed to listen to people with wisdom. But we're not supposed to take that and just run with it. We're supposed to get some discernment and kind of filter it through God's eyes first and make sure that it's what he wants for us. And you might say to yourself, well, that's giving me your opinion, Carol. No, it's not giving you my opinion. I'm giving you direction. I'm telling you to go back to your source. I'm giving you some direction to go back to the one that made you and ask him what he thinks, because I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. When you are having issues with money, when you are having issues with your relationships, when you're having issues with your career, or you're questioning things about God or about the Bible or whatever else, guess what? James 1:5 says that wisdom is yours without any condescending attitude and fault finding. God will give that to you. Just ask for it and he will give it to you. Joshua 1:8 says that if you meditate on the word day and night, and you make sure that those words are the words that are on your lips, and you obey it, then you will be prosperous and successful in everything that you do. I didn't make that up. That came out of the Bible. Okay. Now you can say to me, but Carol, that's another book. That's another idea that was written by humans. Okay. Okay. However, it was God inspired. It was a God inspired book. So yeah, you do have to sort of believe that you were made by God, and that God created you, and that his word and the Bible is truth, or has some validity. Yeah, I guess you would have to do that. You would have to actually believe that if he said it, then it's true, right? You would have to actually believe that. Yeah, you would. But you have a choice. You don't have to. Guess what? You don't have to. There's this thing called free will. And it means that you don't have to do that. But I will tell you this, that for every problem, God has a promise. For every problem you have, God has a promise. And if what you've been doing hasn't been working, you might want to, check it out. That is what I am saying. When I look at the Bible, and I can tell you, Deuteronomy 11:26 and 28 through 28 says, obey and be blessed, and disobey and be cursed. Okay. So again, that is something that speaks to me, but it may not speak to you. Or you may say to me, but Carol, that's all Old Testament. And as Christians, we live in a New Testament with a new covenant with God. Okay. Except that in the New Testament, guess what it says in 2 Timothy 3:16 through 17? It says that all scripture is breathed out by God for teaching, for correction, for training. All scripture. So that means the old scripture and the new scripture, all of it. What I can't tell you is what God will say to you through the scripture. That's what I can't tell you. I can't tell you how to handle your money, because I can tell you to go to certain scriptures, but how God speaks to you through those scriptures, that's on you. I can tell you that with money, that God has some principles, and so tithing is one of them, and giving is another, and saving is another, and being good stewards of your money is another. But I can't tell you what God's telling you to do. I can't tell you that he says you must tithe, because he might say to you, I want you to get all the debt paid off first, or I want you to give in this way, or I want you to do this with your money, or I can't tell you what to do. I can only tell you, go to God and ask him. Go ask him what he says about it. Ask him for direction. Ask him what he wants you to do, because if you ask him, he will give it to you. James 1:5 is for everybody. Actually all scripture is for everybody. But James 1:5 specifically says that anyone who comes and asks for wisdom is going to get it without any problem. So ask for wisdom. There are so many scriptures in the Bible that say that if you meditate on the word day and night, that in that, and in obedience to the word and to what God says, that you will have success. Joshua 1:8, Job 36:11, John 15:5 through 8, Psalm 1:1 through 3, 1 Kings 2, verse 3, Romans 12, verse 2, Jeremiah 17:7, Deuteronomy 30, 8 through 11. So there are so many verses in the Bible, and I don't have to tell you what they say or what they do, because all I'm saying to you is try this out. My all-in process is assess everything, get really clear, get very transparent with God as to how you feel about every area of your life, what you're thinking about every area of your life, and then ask him, what do I do about it? Where do I start? Where am I not all in? What do you want me to do? Second step is to listen for his leading. And you listen to his leading by going into scripture, by looking up scripture based upon what the words or thoughts or ideas that you're having are saying or you're getting, and find out what he says. The third thing is to lean into like-minded people, lean into people who are going to lift you up, lean into your pastors and people that are speaking the same language. So lean into me. Maybe I can support you. I can encourage you. I can, be that person that says, go, go, go. Yes. Keep seeking. But I'm not going to tell you specifically what God says unless I feel like God's really saying it to tell you. Does that make sense? The fourth step is to invest. And you're going to have to invest your time. You're going to have to invest time and energy into doing this, because the world has already changed your mind and put you in a specific place. So you have a bunch of thoughts already in there that are consuming your brain. And the only way that you are going to make some changes, because God renews you from the inside out, is to replace the thoughts and ideas that you have with what he says. That's take the problem, replace it with a promise. Take the problem and replace it with a promise. But you have to be willing to do that. I can't do that for you. I can only encourage you and push you and keep directing you back to his word, back to what he says. This is why I say God does the how and you do the do. See, God will show you how if you ask him, and then you have to be willing to implement what he tells you to do. Asking things like, God, what's next? God, where am I not all in? God, where do I need to change? What needs to happen here? What do I need to learn? Where do I need to grow? Asking him things like that will put things in action, and he will start to show you. But then it's up to you to do it. Our problems are really just a matter of control and trust. That's it. We do not trust God enough to believe what he says, number one. And number two, we want to control the outcomes. So we sort of play this, put your toe in the water with God. We sort of say, you know what, I'll try that. I'll see a little bit. And if it doesn't work right away, I'm just going to forget about it. Yeah. So I'm going to keep pushing you back towards his word. I'm going to keep pushing you back towards him. The process of all in is very general and very open. The all in paragon is very, very general. And you get to choose if you want to try it or not. That's it. So God does the how, you do the do. For every problem, there's a promise. Make it a great day.